probably our last week talking about Penn State till the blue-white game, hopefully. But recruiting, Mike, it's what after the whole scandal, the 2012 recruiting was basically what I thought it was going to be. They lost some big-time names. You can briefly talk about that in a moment. But the guys they did get are some quality. There's some athletes in here. There are some quality character guys. I hate to be putting that first like a personality if you got a date. Well, she's got a good personality.
Yeah, right. He's a character guy. He's a glue guy.
There's some athletes in here, Lynch the running back and so forth. But there's some leadership skills I like here. And the fact is they wanted to come to Penn State even though they knew all the stuff that was going on. And there were some guys I think that sort of flew under the radar. The kid out of Central Dauphin, Schwam, I think his name was. He was hurt his junior year, so I don't think he got the exposure, got the star value that he would have gotten if he would have had that junior year of exposure. You're
exactly right, Starkey. There's sort of an approved track that you have to go on to be a blue chip recruit, and you can't screw up the junior year. The junior year is critical. So lots of kids will fly under the radar or be underrated because of that, because somehow they fell off the track. An excellent example of this to me is Austin Scott, who was as dominant a high school player as I have ever seen. Literally dominated the state playoffs in his senior year in high school, and was missed his whole junior year with an injury, so he was not really that highly recruited. He was kind of an easy get for Penn State, and you could argue that didn't work out so great because Austin had some issues off the football field. But I mean, certainly he was a talent that kind of illustrates this point.
You know, some guys like Benj, the quarterback from Georgia, he was an option quarterback until his senior year. He transferred into more of a wide-open attack. So, again, under the radar. And I think I'll give the credit to the coaching staff now that they saw guys they were losing, and I want you to talk about those in a moment, Mike, just briefly. But, we got to go address some other areas. And they found some guys that were sort of sleeping through the cracks. And the kid from the bench, he was going to Rice. He probably would have had better offers than Rice if he would have had that junior year where he was actually throwing the ball.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt about it.
Lynch, the running back for Player of the Year in New York, he's going to come in and be right behind Silas Red and Dukes at running back. Get some time. I think.
Yeah, he might be the guy who can help them in the short term more than anybody else out of this 2012 class.
What about the guys they lost, just briefly?
Well, they lost 8 guys who either verbally committed to him at some point or who Penn State was right in the mix, and then the Sandusky scandal knocked them out of the mix. I talked to Tom Lemming, who is a national recruiting analyst, who thinks they would have got Noah Spence, the defensive end from Bishop McDevitt, who was really a highly regarded player who ended up going to Ohio State. 8 is a lot, and I think they didn't just lose quantity, they lost quality with those 8 kids too. So they got hurt. There's no question they got hurt by this whole mess in 2012. Now 2013 is really Bill O'Brien and his staff's first group.
Yeah, the 2012 class might have been a top 10, even top 5 class from what people say. And some of the guys they lost to star value, what you give it the ratings that you want on that, but pretty impressive. They're looking at some guys here. Brenneman from Cedar Cliff, Jim Cantafio, he's coaching at Cedar Cliff now, speaks very highly of this tight end. He's grown up a Penn State fan. He's got the size. He looks like he'd be great. If they can get this guy early to commit, he can start making the calls to try to get other recruits in here.
And here's what's interesting about what you just said there, Starkey, is this coming Saturday is their first junior day. They're going to have 25, 30 kids come in, and it's kind of introduce themselves to the staff. Right. Some kids who they've been involved with do get offered and do accept the offer. Brenneman is coming in on Friday. He's coming in the day before everybody else. This is like the ideal scenario if you're a Penn State fan, but if they could get a commit from him and then all these other kids come in the next day, who knows? It could turn into something.
Yeah, it's funny as fans. I have to look forward to next February. I'm already marked the calendar. I'm excited about this. I think it's going to be because they didn't have a great recruiting year this year, but there's going to be a lot of openings coming up where you could say to a high school recruit coming in this junior class, say, hey, you can start right away at quarterback. You got tight ends. You got wide receiver spots.
They'll be selling something different than Penn State used to sell a little bit, but still a pretty attractive thing.